Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your Daily Walking Dead video for today. We only have 2 days left till the premiere for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 7. This one first going to give my thoughts on a brand new sneak peek from AMC, which is called Roadblock. And spoiler warning, of course, if you're not cut out for Walking Dead. So I'll put the link in the description if any of you guys have not seen it yet from AMC, so you can check out the new quick sneak peek for the mid-season premiere, which looks really good. This one's pretty cool. It brought back some kind of feels from maybe Season 2, where you see kind of the cars on the road, and What Lies Ahead, which is a Season 2 premiere, where they had the RV and then, all the cars on the road, and them not being able to get through. In this case, this is actually a roadblock that the Saviors have set up to fully, block out the road so they can't get through. But luckily, some of the cars are able to run. So what they do is they go ahead and they move some of the cars ahead so they can get through. We can see the Saviors compound, the factory from the road. They've got the binoculars out. Rick and the others are kind of scoping it out. So it looks like they're kind of following them back, maybe, or checking out to see where the Saviors live to get an idea of maybe, what the best course of action might be when they get ready to attack and they get ready to go after the Saviors, and just maybe to kind of scout about and get some kind of understanding of what they have, something in terms of numbers. They have a relatively rough idea of the Saviors having probably close to somewhere around 75 to 100, members or fighters for them, but just getting an idea to be able to see firsthand what the Saviors have is going to be useful for them. So we see them doing that, and we've got Sasha there, we've got Carl, Jesus, Rick, Michonne, and I see Tara in there as well too. Michonne kind of calls Rick over to have him look at something, and then it kind of switches, and it shows Rick looking up very closely at a line. Looks like it's been lined with explosives, and then there's a trigger at the end, which is pretty cool. So there's a booby trapped. If you try to drive through it, it's going to blow up, or what is the case, or does it have to be fired? Not sure. But it looks like the Saviors are, have some pretty good ingenuity here. There's certainly a group where they have so many different members, we can't, downplay their intelligence. They probably have some characters such as like Eugene that are pretty smart and are able to put together some pretty cool booby traps. We know that Fat Joey was actually pretty smart, and them talking about in the first half in the truck there that he was actually luring zombies away. So the Saviors as well also will plan explosions and things like that to lure the zombies in a certain direction away from their compound if they need to. So pretty cool stuff to get to see kind of the intellect of the Saviors a little bit, and we'll see what happens with Rick and the others, if they're able to move these or disarm the explosives, or I don't know what they're going to do if they have to drive through, maybe around or something. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Rock in the Road is the name of the mid-season premiere. So looks like it's focused at least a little bit on that, which is pretty cool. And of course, Greg Nicotero promised a really good Walker sequence, so maybe we could see something similar to Season 2 What Lies Ahead premiere, which I'm happy about because that's one of my all-time favorite premieres. That's one of the episodes where I think The Walking Dead went from just another pretty good show to a great show, and then eventually to my favorite show ever. So check it out for yourselves, guys. It does look like to me there's a split there. I don't know if what Michonne is asking Rick to look at. She seems to be looking like this, like up, and then Rick kind of comes down and it's like lower on the ground. So I'm not sure if that's actually what she's telling Rick to look at, or if there's something else there. Maybe she sees that from far away. That could be, which is a nice catch, because if they tried to drive through that, it probably wouldn't be too good. So good stuff. We'll do some Q&A questions as usual for today, guys. Of course, there's all kinds of other little sneak peeks and trailers. AMC this year has kind of chopped a lot of them up and released them all at different times for different things. So there's all kinds of different stuff out there, but there's only 2 days wait anyway now, so we're almost there. Sergey Dukman says, Trev, Q&A, do you think we are going to get payoff during the second part of the season? Maybe Simon's demise, that would be satisfactory. So if you haven't seen it, Sergey, and what you said, I do like to maybe have have seen my video. I did death predictions for this half and going into season 8. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. I'll put it as one of the final video links at the end of this video if you guys want to watch that. And just give my thoughts on who I think is going to survive and not. Definitely, I think Simon could be one of the big savior deaths coming up at the end of this season, or maybe into to next season. But I don't think Simon will survive All Out War. I think Simon will be killed during All Out War. Again, just a prediction. Nothing confirmed for that. But I think so. So good call there. I think you're right, and I think that's what we'll probably see, at least within the year, if not the second half. Lexi Fielding says, "Hey Trev, love your videos. Thanks for the great content during the mid-season break. Q&A, I definitely feel like the hype hasn't been as huge as it has in the previous seasons. And it's also weird that Call of Duty Zombies has been met with lots of dismay and criticism. I know they're completely different entertainment platforms, but do you think there may be a correlation in people's boredom now with zombies, or kind of the hype for zombies all around is not quite what it was?" Well, I mean, it's age now, right? So for Lexi. So I don't know about Call of Duty, because I used to play Call of Duty, a huge Call of Duty, back when like the first one came out and that kind of stuff. I remember it was pretty groundbreaking when the first Call of Duty came out. The multiplayer in Call of Duty is pretty amazing, to be honest. Very action-oriented, very fun, and it's amazing. I played Call of Duty Zombies, which is a lot of fun too. Me and my buddies would get together, drink, and play some Call of Duty Zombies. That's a lot of fun, drinking and playing Call of Duty Zombies. So very cool stuff, but they've released a lot of them now. You know, they've released a lot of Call of Duties. I mean, I can't even keep up. I don't even know what the newest version of Call of Duty is even called at this point. There's been so many I can't keep up. And yeah, you know, you might be right about that. I mean, things do kind of hit sometimes. You get, you know, maybe in the last few years you could say that Marvel's movies have kind of been a pretty big hit with the Marvel Universe. You know, there are times when vampires are at the forefront, like for girls, when the Twilight Saga was out, and when that was getting close to finishing, vampires were everywhere, and it certainly does affect other things. You can have other shows that do the same thing, like you can have True Blood and stuff like this that's going on. And oh yeah, so with zombies, you're probably right. I mean, you know, Walking Dead's going on 7 years now. It's not a spring chicken anymore. A lot of us have kind of grown up with the show. In a couple years, it'll be on for a decade. I mean, that's amazing to see, and I'm really happy that it has been on for so long. But definitely, as good as it is, you know, and as good as it is going to be, and it'll probably get even better next season. I'm really thinking season 8 will be better than season 7. So I think some of it will come back for sure. But, you know, I mean, it's just kind of like they've released so much and it's been on for a while, so you can kind of expect there to be dips in popularity. But I really think The Walking Dead, based on the comics, is that good that it's not going to just die out now. I don't think it's going to just go away now. I think the comics are so good that season 8 with All Out War should be fantastic, and the show should go on long term, because I mean, they have a great story to work from to start. It's kind of like saying Game of Thrones has been super hot, but is it just going to die out? You know, I doubt it. So we'll see what happens after Game of Thrones ends. Walking Dead, of course, has a lot of territory left to tread, a lot of distance to go. But yeah, I think it'll do just fine. So, but I mean, yeah, you might be right that maybe with zombies, people are a little bit zombied out. So, you know, I mean, that kind of stuff happens too. Like vampires are not hot at all right now, right? So things do get hot for a while sometimes. Radical Zed says, "Hey Trev, what comic moment are you most looking forward to this half?" Mine is the group's initial first reaction to Shiva. That was awesome in the comic version. So we've seen Carol react to seeing Shiva, but that will be fun in this episode probably to see Rick and the others meet Shiva. Rick, I can't wait to see Andrew Lincoln's response to that. He's gonna be like, "King, you know, like what? You know, like there's a tiger here." He's probably just gonna be like, give his head a shake or something. So that'll be funny to see how he reacts to that. So I'm with you there as far as that goes. But some other awesome comic moments I'm very excited for, anticipating. I mean, you have, you know, all kinds of great stuff coming up. Probably Negan's speech when the war starts is probably the thing I'm looking forward to most. But of course, there's all kinds of other stuff that will probably be adapted here and there, and it's kind of tricky to see which part they're going to adapt where and how much they're going to add in. So we'll see. But for me, it's going to be Negan's speech when he realizes they're going to war. I think that's going to be epic as hell. So finale should be awesome this year, as it usually is. Adrian Ezzo says, "Q&A Trev, do you think the Blu-ray for season 7 7 will include the bashing of every character in the lineup from the first episode. And also, we will see the full cut of Daryl smashing Fat Joey's head in that they didn't show on Hearts Still Beating, Adrian Ezzo. And I wanted to say, too, for Adrian and the rest of you guys, I actually watched Hearts Still Beating again just 2 days ago to kind of prep for getting ready for this weekend. You guys might want to watch it again just to get yourself caught up if you haven't. They'll probably play it before they play the new episode. They usually do. Just to see it in context and everything. But I watched that death again, and when I was watching it this time, I didn't notice it so much before when, they hadn't told us that they cut it out. A lot of it cut it out. But when you watch it again now, after you know that they did that, it's like you can't help but look away. It's like when Sasha stumbles when she's walking up the hill. If she didn't tell you that she stumbles in that last sequence, you might not notice it. I mean, you might if you got HD and you're watching in HD, and you might notice. But you might not. But after they say it, you can't look away. Like every time I watch that sequence now, I see Sasha tripping and kind of walking like this, and I know what that's like, because how many times in gym class or something, are you playing a sport or something, you're running around or something, you kind of do something stupid, and then you kind of walk it off like you're like it's whatever, right? That's kind of funny. But with that sequence, I can't help but think about it every time I see Daryl kill Fat Joey. I'm like, they must have cut the shit out of this, because you see it from Daryl, you see it from his perspective and stuff. It like cuts to him, and then Jesus is like all shock face and stuff, and Daryl's like there, but we don't get to see any of that. Like we're like there, and we're like watching it, and it's like, oh my god, he just killed Fat Joey. It's crazy, right? But the brutality of it, Fat Joey's corpse and everything is like totally, barely at all visible, almost not at all. So that's something. But yeah, no, I think they probably will include the extra stuff, just like the Negan swearing sequence in the Blu-ray, but maybe not the DVD. So let's, I really... Personally, I should stop even buying DVD. I should buy a Blu-ray player. They're pretty cheap nowadays, but I'm so cheap I buy hardly anything. So maybe I'll buy a Blu-ray player and buy it on Blu-ray, because last year they didn't include the Negan swearing sequence on DVD, which pissed me off to no end. But yeah, so I think you're right. I think we'll see that. Definitely the bashing of every character in the lineup. So you get to see Negan kill everybody. I'm sure that will be a selling point for this, for this release. And of course, the Lauren Cohan death, the Maggie death, was kind of leaked online, which is it's pretty messed up to watch, to be honest. If you haven't seen it yet, it shows Negan killing Maggie, and it's all like done and everything. So she coughs up blood and everything. It's pretty brutal, to be honest with you. So I hope they release all those, and I think they will, because that would be a great selling point for people who want to see that, at least sickos like me. And I know some of you guys are. Hey, Trev, is there a moment in the comic series that you would want to change, or you think that could have been done better from Mars? So, with that, it's kind of like, the comic has been out for so long, so many years and everything. I think, a lot of them sometimes are addressed in the TV show. Like, if you think something should be told a different way or swapped around if you watch the TV series, sometimes they do kind of go over some things from the comics and maybe fix them a little bit, or maybe just improve them a little bit. For me personally, it's my favorite comic book series ever, so I don't get too nitpicky with it myself. I do the reviews and everything, but most of the time when I review an issue of Walking Dead, I'm just like, it's amazing. There's a few issues here and there, like issue 150 where Rick gets betrayed. It's okay. It's not incredible, but again, it's 150 issues, so they can't all be like amazing. And you have the Whisper War, which I feel like at the end might have been a little bit of a letdown, but again, Kirkman is such a master of what he does, and he's done such an amazing job with the series. You hate to be like disappointed, because at the same time too, it's like, well, there's pros and cons to everything. Just because the way the Whisper War ended doesn't mean that that's a bad thing, because later now he can do something else with this, and he can do something else with that, and he probably will. So very cool, man, very cool. Also the characters that maybe the characters that were exiled from Alexandria, nothing was ever really done with that. I think somebody said that they explained in the TV series version some of the walkers in the sewer were some of them trying to sneak back in. The ones that were exiled were trying to sneak back in and got stuck or something. So that's cool if they explained it, But, you know, in the comic series, I would like to have seen something done with the characters that got exiled, Alexander Davidson, because it sounded like it was a big setup and that it was never used again. So, but who knows? I mean, you never say never, right? You know, he could always come back to that later. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, with regards to things that I would change about The Walking Dead, I wouldn't change that much, I don't think. I mean, you'd have to go through each instance of every episode or every issue of the comic to see what I thought at the time, because I've been reviewing it now for 7 years, so obviously there's going to be some things, but there aren't too many things off the top of my head I can think of that I would want to, because it's my favorite series ever, and I hate to be negative about things I enjoy. Again, as I said before, that's masochistic when you love something and you talk negatively about it, or you beat it up or whatever. You know, I mean, it doesn't make sense. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me to just bash on something that you actually, you know, really love. So that'll be it for this video today, guys. Of course, a couple more. We'll do 2 more leading up to Sunday night. Can't wait, man. And if you guys like the video today, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe at the bottom left. Click the bell at the bottom and send me any final questions, guys. We'll do a couple more Q&As next 2 days leading up to the mid-season premiere. Can't wait. That's it for this one, guys. See you again soon. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.
You better subscribe.